Day 3, I awoke to much needed sun and sea. My little Triumph had carried me 600 miles and earned herself the right to some maintenance. A little tighten of the primary chain and she was raring to go again.
Oh boy, give me in a swell. I'm not just talking about the tears, it's been building up for years. Do you think I belong?
I wanted to spend the next 3-4 days in Benares. I heard that there were flamingos not far off, so I went on a little mission.
I got a warm fireplace and a cool-headed mind. Now she's stitching me up with a needle and a thread.
The last thing I wanted to do that day was to get some fuel, but on my way back I ended up using my jerry can and I went on to reserve, and the first petrol station I pulled into was abandoned, and the second one there was a power cut, so I couldn't get any fuel and decided I would just do a spot of fishing.
Got to my heart, but there wasn't much left. It's torn and it's careless like a dog stop a bread.
As I sat and relaxed, I noticed a storm emerging from the mountains. Its thunder, deep and rolling. I set off for the campsite with haste, but with a lack of fuel and constant speed bumps, it seemed nearly impossible. As I lay there, I contemplated. I wondered why I was here and what to do next. I'd found out a series of big storms were rolling in. I had no fuel or plan to escape it. You see, these storms were going to hit the whole of the south coast and last a few days. I needed a plan, and I needed it quick. So my plan was simple: pack up, try and get fuel, and ride north as far and as fast as I could. As I climbed the mountains, my bike got flat. She'd gone flat at altitude on the way across, but this felt different. I still don't know what happened that day. It could have been a moment of madness. I thought I was going to be stuck in that mountain pass as those storms rolled in. I checked her over and I couldn't find anything, and I was forced to make the decision: wait it out, investigate further, or risk it, carry on. The longer I looked, the heavier the clouds got, until I decided it was time to go. When I was confident I'd outrun the storm, I stopped and I had a real thorough check. I did timing, tappets, carburettor, everything you can imagine I looked through, and I found nothing. So I stopped, I refueled, picked up some oil, I refueled myself, and then I got on the move again. If nothing else, I felt a bit more confident knowing I checked everything I could. As I got back to smaller roads, my bike suddenly sprung back to life. She was fast, responsive. Whatever illness she had, it had passed. I've been out running the rain all day, and I wanted to make it to my campsite before it was wet and dark. Well, I made it to an empty campsite, but I was met by a grumpy Spaniard. He said, "No, we're full. You cannot stay." So I made a panicked call to my friends and family, and they sent me a new location, 40 minutes further into the mountains. So I sped there as fast as I could, and I found this tiny village, most of which looked abandoned. There was no signal, no electricity, but at least I had somewhere to pitch my tent.
I set off early that morning, knowing I'd have to move quick if I wanted to outrun the weather and catch an early ferry. But after only an hour's riding, I was stranded. A combination of steep inclines and heavy rain meant that the water was just trickling down the back of my fuel tank directly into the carb. So I couldn't go anywhere unless it either stopped raining or got flatter. But eventually it did stop raining. I braved 60 miles until I pulled over to refuel. Out of the corner of my eye, I spotted a motel, and again, I had to make a decision. I decided to get a room at the motel. I was pretty burnt out. This meant that I was not going to make the earlier ferry I wanted to get, but the weather was not looking good for the rest of that day, and that turned out to be the right decision to make, because when I unpacked in the motel room, I realised my waterproof bag had split and everything I had become soaked.
Yeah. 4 degrees in Spain.